Just because you're feeling lost and confused and frustrated doesn't mean that, one, you're not actually ridiculously successful. Two, you can't be ridiculously successful. Like, you can. It's not one or the other. So this episode is for you. If you are feeling lost or confused, or you're feeling like, what am I even doing? What am I even doing this for? Or you're maybe doubting yourself or feeling like, am I ever going to be able to make this happen? You just feel really low. Then this is for you. So I feel like throughout building FEA, I have always been really honest and open about the ups and downs of building a business. And I decided that I really wanted to talk about what I'm about to share right now, because I just think so often we suffer in silence, and sometimes we feel like we're the only ones really going through it. And sometimes it's just nice to know you're not alone, and we all go through these phases of feeling low and frustrated or lost and confused, no matter what stage of the journey we're at. What I wanted to talk about, the reality behind the scenes, probably for so many of us. I know that for me, with building a business, there's been some absolutely amazing times. There's been some super low times. There's been really confusing times. There's been inspiring times, like all of the emotions. And it just doesn't ever seem to end. But for a really long time, I thought, like, obviously with having kids, like I used to work so hard all the time, and I used to love it. I was so immersed in it all. And it's what really helped me to build a really successful business. And then since having kids, my priorities obviously changed, and I didn't want to be spending all day, every day working. And so I've been working a lot less, which has been great. And it's great that the business has continued to grow, even though that's happened. But I find myself feeling really lost and really like, what am I doing here? And I think it's a combination of so many things, like having kids, but also having a business that's at a point where I've got a team. And sometimes I come in and sit down at my desk and I feel like, what am I supposed to do today? Like, what am I going to do? And like, other people are doing this stuff, and what's here for me? And it's such a weird feeling sometimes to like not really fully know my place, and to want to be the person coming up with the ideas and doing that, which is great. But then also knowing that I am also a real doer, and it became really confusing to figure out, like, who am I here, and like, what am I doing, and what is my purpose? And yes, I know, obviously, like, you know, coming up with the ideas, being that visionary position, and I know all that stuff, but just on an emotional level, I felt really disconnected. I think so often we suffer in silence with the struggles that we're going through, and we keep pushing them away and not dealing with them. So I realized I really want to do something about this, because I don't want to go on feeling the way I'm feeling. And I know I don't have to go on feeling the way I'm feeling. I can actually look at this and address things and think through it. So for me, being in this situation and feeling like, yeah, what the hell's going on here? What I did over the past few weeks is, one, get help and start talking about the way I feel and what's going on, because no one's an island. You don't have to be an island. You don't have to figure everything out by yourself. You don't have to figure everything out alone, because there are people out there that can help you. It's like, for me, when I sat down to start journaling and realized I didn't know the questions to ask myself, I realized I need to get help, because there's someone out there that can hold a mirror up for me and ask me the questions that are going to help me to kind of see my way through this mess. And so I started reaching out to people. I started booking calls with coaches, and I booked a call with someone who I always have sessions with she helps me with like mindset stuff and just like clearing things, booking the crystal healing sessions that I have to like just work on my energy, and like actually working with some new people to help me to dig through it. Talking to my husband Kellen and like working through it with him, talking to my brother James who works with me and talking through it with him, talking through it with like some of the people on the team. So just talking about it, like stopping, you know, instead of bottling it all up and keeping it so locked up, just letting it come out. And it's kind of like, you know, when you're tidying a room in your house or you know, it kind of sometimes gets messier before it gets tidier. So that really helped, like doing that and like speaking to people. So speak to people, figure out who can help you. Do you have a friend you can ask? Who can help you? If you're in communities and things like that, then, you know, reaching out to people in there who have probably gone through exactly the same thing is such a powerful thing. Like, obviously in the Female Entrepreneur Association, we have our membership, and they're just full of so many nice people. So if you're in it and you're struggling, like, I'm there, reach out, like, say something, like, let's talk about it, because we all go through this stuff all the time. It's just that a lot of people don't share it and don't talk about these phases. The second thing I really wanted to talk about that helps me is reading books and having resources that can really help. So lately I've just been reading books, and it's really helped me to just kind of, for me at the moment, actually there's 3 books right here in my bag that I'm like going crazy. And they're not non-fiction books. So one of them is the 100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi. The 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and absolute old school, J. Abraham, Getting Everything You Can Out of All You've Got, What to Do When Times Are Tough. So those are 3 books that are in my bag that I've been reading through. And like, I feel like when I'm like this, it's like I've got to change my thinking. I've got to open myself up to think in different ways. And books are a really powerful way to do that, because you're then soaking up other people's ideas, the way other people think. And it's like Albert Einstein said something like, you can't solve a problem from the level of thinking you had when it was created. So what can you do to change the way you're thinking, to change the way, because sometimes we get stuck in that rut of feeling, I'm stuck. But literally, like, that's the mantra sometimes we can get, where we get stuck. And we have to be able to pull ourselves away from that thinking, because it's so easy to go in a spiral and to be pulling ourselves down and to be like, oh, I feel so low and I feel like I can't get myself out of this. And so we just stay stuck in that low energy. But reading books helps to, for me, raise my energy, helps me to think differently. I get ideas from it, sparks inspiration. And honestly, that's what I want to try and get back, that inspiration, that spark that has completely deserted me and has really kind of flickered on and off for the past few years for me. And like when it comes to work. And so getting into that, so finding the books that you love, finding books that are going to help bring you kind of back to yourself, or help you to see things differently. And also resources like courses. I've started to go through courses, and I've got things that I really want to go through, and that again has just been really helpful. Some of them got nothing to do with business. I've been doing Wim Hof, his breathing. I've got his app and his course, and it's like his 30-day challenge where I'm doing like the cold shower. Bloody hell, that, I mean, it's cold. And his breathing, and that's been really helpful. So what can you do differently that might help make some little changes? And then that's the thing, isn't it? It's little things, and then all of a sudden you're through it and you're like, I did it, I got through this. And then the next thing I always ask myself when I'm intentional about it is like, how do I want to feel? So now knowing that I've been feeling so low and asking myself, how do I want to feel, helps me to then think, actually, what is this? Like, what do I actually want? And honestly, I'm not done with unpicking this. And I say that as from someone who I consider myself to be an intentional person. So even people who think they're intentional fall off the intention wagon and spiral. And so I feel like I really need to spend some time unpicking that question, because I'm not fully sure. I'm not. And I feel like that's fine. Like, I don't have to have all the answers. But I can start to get clear on, like, how do I want to feel, and what are the pieces of this? And then like looking at, okay, if this is the way I want to feel, what can I do that's going to help me to feel that way? What are the practical things I can do that help me to feel that way? Maybe like I just need to create more structure. So yeah, what is it? And then also thinking about, what can you do that will fill up your cup? So when I was chatting to someone the other week about the way I was feeling, and I was just like blurting it all out, she asked me this question. She said, Carrie, what do you do for you? And I was like, I play with my kids. And she was like, no, that you're not doing that for you. And I was like, and I just stopped and I was like, nothing. Like, I can't tell you the last time I did something for myself. Like, at all. And then she said something like, well, like, no wonder you feel so depleted. you're just like giving to everyone and you're not giving to yourself. And I was like, I can't even remember the last time I went on a date night with my husband. And I know it's the phase I'm in, I get it, but like at the same time, I do feel like it is about making more time for that and not just getting so swept up. And so then I was like, okay, well, what could I do for me? And so I made this list, and I thought, I've really been wanting to do a spa day with myself for a while again. And so I was like, I'm going to book a spa day every month and go where it's just me, and I can just sit with myself and my thoughts and like journal, do whatever, have space, because I feel like it's in that space where the magic happens. It's in that space where you connect with yourself in a deeper way, where ideas flow, where creativity flows, and that's what helps me to thrive. And I've just been suffocating myself of it. And I think so often we do suffocate ourselves from having that space because we think that that's not productive, because we need to be working or doing something, and we don't. So having that space for myself. What else did I put a bunch of stuff on my list. I want to start playing the piano again. I want to buy some crystal singing bowls, because I wanted to buy some last year and I didn't, and I really want to do it and learn something for myself. So there's a bunch of things. I will start reading again. I have been reading again, so I've already been doing that. But so I made a list of all the things I can do for me. What can I do for me? What can I do to help me feel good? What can help to fill my cup back up? And just how can I reconnect with myself? Like, who am I? Like, I know who I am to other people. I know I'm mum, and I'm a wife, and I'm a boss, and I know those things, and I know who I am to other people, but who am I to myself, and who am I now? Like, what is this version of me? And just reconnecting with that and feeling good about it. And then lastly, the other thing I've been doing is feeling like grateful for what I do have, because I find that when I'm feeling low, it's so easy to look at everything through like a grey lens. And actually, I was like, Carrie, you work so hard to get to a point where you have a business, where you have a team, and largely it can run itself and you can spend loads of time with your kids. So as much as you want to feel the momentum and the next thing and figure that piece out, enjoy where you're at. Just enjoy it, like relax and enjoy it. So it's kind of like then looking at, well, what am I grateful for? Like, what really lights me up right now that I am grateful for, and focusing on that and feeling good about that. And so like there's lots of figuring out all the pieces. And since I've been doing this stuff and like, you know, having these conversations and reading the books and doing this, actually, I've been working my way through the mess, and the clarity's coming back. And it feels really good to start having some of those pieces. Like, have I got the whole picture in place? Absolutely not. But like, I feel so much better. We're all in it together. Like, we're all just trying to wing it. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all just going along on this journey. And like, none of us have it all planned out, or it's nothing, it's not perfect for any of us. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this and share it, because like I said so many times, like, I think it's so easy to suffer in silence and to start feeling really isolated with the way you're feeling. Just because you're feeling lost and confused and frustrated doesn't mean that, one, you're not actually ridiculously successful. Two, you can't be ridiculously successful. Like, you can feel lost and confused and frustrated and still become really successful, or still be really successful. And like, it's not one or the other, and it's just all the emotions we feel. And I don't think we should feel ashamed of it, because actually we're all going to experience it multiple times. And it's like, how do you choose to respond to it? And it's like that quote, Viktor Frankl, that I always share: everything in life can be taken away from you except for your freedom to choose how you respond. So how do you choose to respond when you feel really low? How do you choose to respond when you feel lost? How do you choose to respond when you're feeling just utterly bloody confused and you just don't know up from down anymore? How do you choose to respond? And for me, I know I can always work my way through it. I trust that I can work my way through the mess. I trust that the mess is part of the journey. And actually, maybe this is my transition from one level to another level. And I've often found actually that this mess, this bubble that appears and that just goes and goes everywhere, is actually the leap from one phase to another phase. And it feels really bloody uncomfortable and difficult, but it's happened to me so many times. So maybe that's what's happening for you. Maybe you're like, ever been nodding along with this and thinking, yes, I get this. And maybe for you too, you feel that this is your transition from, you're in the middle of it, you're in the chaos of it. And there's actually the quote in my book that says something like, for a star to be born, a gaseous nebulous has to happen. Basically, it has to explode. Like, where's my book? Let me see if I can find it. For a star to be born, there's one thing that must happen. A gaseous nebula must collapse. So collapse, crumble. This is not your destruction. This is your birth. I literally wrote right here, everyone who is trying to turn their ideas into reality and build a successful business feels discomfort at some stage. We're all pushing ourselves to do things we've never done before, and that causes the resistance to rise up, the fears, the doubts, the worries, and it feels uncomfortable. Just know that this discomfort is not your destruction. It is your birth. It means you're on your way to achieving greatness. So whenever you feel it bubbling up, I want you to say, bring it on, discomfort. I knew I'd meet you here and I'm ready for you. Actually, I'm excited you've arrived because it means I'm moving in the direction of my dreams. I'm going to keep on climbing up, up, up. So let's be friends, yes? Maybe I need to read my own book again. But that is the thing. And that is the way I choose to respond and choose to see things. And it's always helped me to just go from one thing to the next and work my way through it and the discomfort and all that jazz. So I hope in me sharing this and a little spider just crawled up my computer screen, has made its web in my webcam. How delightful. I hope in me sharing this, it's helped some of you to feel like better in yourself and to know that you can get through it. And what can you do? What people can you lean on? Who can you turn to? And like I said, even if you're part of my membership, like come in there, like everyone in there is just so nice and so friendly. If you're not in it but want to, I'll leave the link. There's it's not open at the moment, but you can get on the wait list. I'll put it in the show notes for you. But yeah, like it's a wonderful journey, isn't it? Life, business, trying to go after your dreams, trying to become the best version of yourself. But we can't become the best version of ourselves if we don't go through this crap. Like, we just can't, I don't think. So, yes, let's respond wisely. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and I will be back next Tuesday for another episode of the She Means Business Show.